The jobs numbers are so bad that even Fox News can't spin this. They can't massage this to make this look better. This is terrible. So these numbers are coming from ADP. This is private sector numbers. The Trump administration decided that they're not going to publish the federal government numbers. So the economy is even worse than these numbers that are being put out because the government is like, la la la, don't look over here. We're not going to show you the real numbers. So it's even worse than what we're seeing. So, like I said, this is Fox News. They say right here 1.1 million jobs lost so far. That's up 54% year over year. That is bad, right in time for the holiday season. So, this is from Fox Business. U.S. layoffs soar past 1.1 million job losses in 2025. That's the highest level since the pandemic. And November saw 71,000, over 71,000 job cuts just in 1 month. And I wanted y'all to see this, the big layoff list. Actually, I'm going to make this bigger. Amazon cut 14,000 jobs. Meta cut 600 jobs. UPS, the big one on the list, cut 48,000 jobs. And Target cut 1,800 jobs. So here's a graph from ADP talking about the employment change. The yellow bars are job losses. All of the blues, those are job gains. So over here, over in the 2023 section, there's just one month of job losses. But you skip over here to 2025, the blues are not that high. And over here, we see 4 bars of job losses. This is not good. This is not going to bode well, obviously, for the economy if so many people are losing jobs. And this is private sector. This isn't even speaking to all of the people that have lost their jobs in the federal government. So, on top of all the tariffs, the trade war, and all of this, all these people losing jobs, this is going to jack up the economy and right before the holidays. So, that is going to be big for people not having money to spend for the holidays, not having money to spend in the winter to take care of all of their needs that they have going on in the wintertime. It's about to really get jacked up. So I've already said for the month of November, we've lost over 71,000 jobs. Now for the whole year, we have lost over 1 million, over 1.1 million jobs. So I'm scrolling Twitter and I come across this post from MAGA Republican Nancy Mace. She says, America First is working. 120,000 new jobs with many more on the way. Thank you, Mr. President. And then she posts this. Look at what she posts. CBS News, employers add 119,000 jobs in September, blowing past expectations. Why is she posting this? Talking about 119,000 jobs in September. This is December. November numbers just dropped, and she's posting this from September. Why? Why is she doing this? She's doing this because she knows that MAGA Republicans are probably only going to read this and probably aren't going to even look for other sources and do any research. This is ridiculous to me. Underneath Nancy's tweet, this person named Julia posts this. November, private payrolls unexpectedly fell by 32,000, led by steep small business job cuts. So this is for December. Rebecca posted the latest CBS News talking about the United States lost 32,000 jobs in November since this woman wants to play games with her caption. So I click into this CBS article. I did that because Nancy Mace wants to use CBS as her source and she's a liar. But this headline says U.S. lost 32,000 private sector jobs last month in surprise drop, ADP data shows. Private sector employers in the United States cut 32,000 jobs in November, payroll firm ADP said Wednesday. A surprise drop that could firm up expectations of an interest rate cut next week. Forecasts had predicted a rise in employment last month, with economists polled by FactSet expecting private employers to add more than 40,000 jobs. Hiring has been choppy of late as employers weather cautious consumers in an uncertain macroeconomic environment. So right now, people are not spending because people are getting laid off. So of course, folks are cautious and uncertain. This part right here sucks. Small businesses with fewer than 50 employees drove the cuts in November, shedding 120,000 jobs. The 31,000 decline in private payroll reported by ADP was driven by firms with less than 50 employees. Matthew Martin, senior U.S. economist at Oxford Economics, said in a report, small firms, those with less than 50 employees, have felt the pinch of policy uncertainty, rising input costs, and high interest rates the most. This right here really sucks. The labor market weakness was led by cuts in the professional and business service industry, where employers eliminated 26,000 jobs. The leisure and hospitality sector gained 13,000 jobs as establishments gear up for the busy holiday season. Although the ADP figures are not viewed as particularly predictive of overall job growth, they are still closely watched as a gauge of the U.S. economy, especially as the official data is incomplete due to the 43-day federal government shutdown that ended in November. Hey Joe responded to Nancy May saying, isn't it a little early to be drinking? I love that so many people are dropping different articles. This one saying small businesses cut 120,000 jobs. Republicans against Trump posted a couple of quotes from Howard Nutlick. So he was asked the question, today we learned that private sector is losing jobs and small business is getting hit hard. Do you worry about the economic fallout as tariffs take hold? Now, Nutlick says the Democrat shutdown hurt numbers. Next year, the numbers are going to be fantastic. So all they can really do is just keep blaming everything on Democrats. Not the trade war, not the tariffs creating uncertainty, not all of these layoffs, none of that. Everything is blamed on the Democrats. Now I want to talk about this article from Forbes from about 3 weeks ago. It says U.S. foreclosure rates spike 32% from last year. Here's why. Foreclosure rates for U.S.-based properties in October rose by nearly a third from last year and 2% from the month before, as homebuyers wrestle to keep up with rising costs of goods and services. Let's hit some of these key facts, some of these bullet points. Mortgages and lenders repossessed 3,872 U.S. properties in October, a 32% increase from the same period last year. Homebuyers began the foreclosure process on over 25,000 properties during the month, over 25,000, up from 6% from the previous month and an eighth straight monthly increase. These foreclosures are just going up and up and up. Florida, Texas, and California were the states with the highest rates of foreclosure filings, while Florida, South Carolina, and Illinois had the most foreclosures. Inflation has increased by 3% over the last 12 months, ending September, and remains above the Federal Reserve's 2% target, according to the Consumer Price Index. The Shelter Index, a measure of housing costs for renters and homeowners, showed a 3.6% increase over the last 12 months in the September CPI report. There are 22 states right now that are hitting the markers for a recession. We're having all of these foreclosures. So people are housing insecure, they're food insecure, costs are way too high at the exact same time that all of these companies are laying people off. The federal government has already been laying people off. We are headed towards, we are running towards a Great Depression, the greatest depression, Great Depression 2.0, because of this stupid trade war and all of these tariffs. Before we get out of here, let's get some good news. Grand jury declines to re-indict Letitia James. We know that Donald Trump has a hit list of people that he's coming after politically. She was one of them. She's finally, her case is closed. A grand jury declined to indict New York Attorney General Letitia James after being asked to look at the mortgage fraud case against her a second time, 10 days after a federal judge threw out the initial charges against her, according to a person familiar with the development Thursday. Another source familiar with the situation said there should be no premature celebration because the Justice Department could try to seek the indictment a third time. A Justice Department spokesperson declined to comment on grand jury matters. A grand jury was in court until noon on Thursday. The quick move by the Justice Department to present the case to a grand jury shows the intensity of its efforts to prosecute James, a frequent Trump political target who is one of several enemies he has said on social media should face legal jeopardy. These people are such amateurs. It says late last month, a federal judge said that Lindsay Halligan, Trump's handpicked prosecutor, was unlawfully appointed as an interim U.S. attorney, and therefore the cases against James and another Trump political opponent, former FBI Director James Comey, must be dismissed. Halligan, a former White House advisor, was given the job after the Justice Department pushed out the previous interim U.S. attorney amid increasing pressure to bring cases against Comey and James. James had pleaded not guilty to one count of making false statements to a financial institution and one count of bank fraud. All actions flowing from Ms. Halligan's defective appointment, including the indictments against Comey and James, were unlawful exercises of executive power and are hereby set aside, Judge Cameron McGowan Curry ruled. But Curry tossed out the cases without prejudice, leaving open the possibility that both individuals could be recharged for the same alleged conduct. Prosecutors, however, face a long road ahead as several efforts to dismiss the charges remain, including claims of a selective and vindictive prosecution that James made before the case was thrown out. Both James and Casey, and right there I'm sure they mean Comey, have pointed to a myriad of comments from Trump calling for them to be prosecuted, and in the case of James, have accused the government of transforming the Department of Justice into the president's personal agents of revenge. Their attorneys point to one of Trump's Truth Social posts, which was directed at Attorney General Pam Bondi in September. Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially, same old story as last time, all talk, no action, nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done, Trump wrote, referring to Comey, James, and Senator Adam Schiff of California. So, as of right now, she's not being re-indicted. Hopefully they leave this woman alone. We shall see. We see the way Donald Trump is taking all of these people to court. He is vindictive and he is using the federal government as a way to punish folks that were doing their job because Donald Trump is in fact a felon. Anyways, let me know what you think about all of this. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And I'm pushing towards 100,000 subscribers over on YouTube.